Nightline begins right now with me, Adrian Seet. News making the headlines. Overnight policy rate raised to 3%. And dual 5G network expected to be rolled out in January 2024. Thanks for joining us. Bank Negara raises the overnight policy rate OPR by 25 basis points to 3% at its Monetary Policy Committee MPC meeting on Wednesday. The ceiling and floor rates of the corridor of the OPR are correspondingly increased to 3.25% and 2.75% respectively. In its monetary policy statement, Bank Negara said, with the domestic growth prospects remaining resilient, it is timely to further normalize the degree of monetary accommodation. With this decision, the MPC has withdrawn the monetary stimulus intended to address the COVID-19 crisis in promoting economic recovery. In light of the continued strength of the domestic economy, the committee also recognizes the need to ensure that the stance of monetary policy is appropriate to prevent the risk of future financial imbalances. At the current level, the monetary policy stance is slightly accommodative and remains supportive of the economy. The statement added that the MPC will continue to ensure that the monetary policy stance remains consistent with the outlook of domestic inflation and growth. Meanwhile, economists consider the central bank's surprise move to raise the OPR to 3% after a pause in January and March this year as an indication of the country's economic resilience. Putra Business School's Associate Professor Dr. Ahmad Razman Abdul Latif said the normalization of the monetary policy will also help Bank Negara to keep inflation in check. However, he admitted that the impact of the interest rate hike will be felt not only by existing borrowers but also those looking to take out new loans.
Bank Negara made this decision based on the signals that the economy is still showing strength and will continue to expand this year. It means that there is a danger that because of the resilient and strong market, there will be a possibility of too much borrowing due to currently low interest rate, and hence the need to increase it further. The loan repayment will become costlier since for the past 1 year, we have seen the rate has increased by 1.25%. So, for example, a borrower with 300,000 ringgit loan for 30 years with 6% interest rate will see his monthly payment to increase by almost 250 ringgit within a year. So this is indeed will become a concern for many.
Dr. Rasman added, although there is a possibility that loan applications may decrease slightly as a result of the hike, it is unlikely to be a significant drop. According to him, Malaysia has had higher OPR rates, with the rate standing at 3.5% from 2006 to 2008, and despite this, loan applications continued to show an increasing trend during that time. Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riyatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah and Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Aziza Amina Maimunah Iskandariah will undertake a special visit to London, United Kingdom from Wednesday until May 14th. According to the Foreign Ministry, the King and Queen were invited by King Charles III to attend a coronation ceremony at Westminster Abbey on May the 6th. In a statement, Wisma Putra said the royal couple has also consented to attend the reception ceremony that will be hosted by King Charles III at Buckingham Palace on May the 5th. The special visit is significant in the context of consolidating the existing and close relations shared between Malaysia and the United Kingdom, especially between the two countries' royal institutions and the bond of the Commonwealth. Wisma Putra also added that the visit marks the importance of the close ties between the two countries, collaborating in various fields that are supported at the highest level of the country's leadership. Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim on Wednesday reiterated the commitment and strong determination of the unity government to revive the principles of civil society through fair and factual media reporting. The Prime Minister said this in a tweet in response to the Reporters Without Borders (RSF) report, stating that Malaysia has jumped 40 places to 73rd with 62.83 points in the 2023 World Press Freedom Index, compared to 113th spot with 51.55 points in the previous year. Malaysia also ranked the highest amongst the ASEAN countries, ahead of Thailand, Indonesia, Singapore, the Philippines, Brunei, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar and Vietnam. The index, published on the RSF website, aims to compare the level of media freedom in 180 countries and regions around the world. The government has agreed to a second 5G service provider, with a shift in a dual network to commence in Phase 2 of the 5G network rollout that is expected to begin in January 2024. Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadzil said this will only happen once the current rollout under the Digital National Berhad (DNB) has reached 80% of populated areas by year-end.
Syarikat DNB akan terus berfungsi dan penyedia perkhidmatan akan menjadi sebahagian daripada DNB. Ini tidak lari dari perbincangan awal mengenai penyertaan equity dalam DNB, tapi kerajaan telah juga memutuskan bahawa satu entiti baru boleh diwujudkan.
Speaking at a press conference on the 5G implementation in Putrajaya on Wednesday, Fahmi said that the new entity would be identified through an open tender process. He added the dual network model would also take into consideration the sustainability of the telecommunication industry's ecosystem in Malaysia and put an end to the elements of monopoly frequently linked with the DNB. He was also confident that the targeted 80% coverage of populated areas could be achieved, as the 5G rollout had reached 57.8% as at the end of March this year. School authorities need to stop all activities outside the classroom, including co-curriculum activities, as well as organizing annual sports events for the time being, in view of the current hot weather, for the safety of students and teachers. Deputy Education Minister Lim Hui Ying said although no schools in the country have been closed due to the current hot spell, they are required to take precautionary measures to avoid any untoward incidents.
Kurangkan di luar, aktiviti di luar, dan kena minum banyak air. Anak-anak murid boleh tidak perlu pakai uniform, boleh pakai pakaian sukan ke sekolah.
Lim said this at a media conference after visiting Sekolah Kebangsaan Taman Rakyat in Alostar, Kedah on Wednesday. She added that state education departments nationwide will continuously monitor the hot weather conditions, aside from taking precautionary measures, including implementing an effective approach to deal with the issue. According to the set guidelines, schools will be closed if temperatures exceed 37 degrees Celsius, which will be decided by the respective state education departments. Earlier, it was reported that students, teachers and members of the implementing group in all education institutions under the Education Ministry were given special permission to wear appropriate sports attire during the current hot spell to avoid any health complications. Neckties are also not mandatory for students wearing school uniforms. Following the death of an 11-year-old child in Kelantan from heat stroke, the Health Ministry MOH is actively monitoring the country's hot weather condition. Its Minister, Dr. Zaliha Mustafa, advised the public to limit their outdoor activities, to avoid being exposed to high temperatures and to seek treatment immediately if they exhibit symptoms of a heat stroke.
Akibat daripada haba yang tinggi ini juga, dia boleh menyebabkan dehidrasi. So kita gantikan kehilangan air melalui dehidrasi itu dengan minum air yang banyak. Dan ketiganya, kalau misalnya ada apa-apa gejala yang berkait dengan stroke, yang berkait dengan cuaca atau haba yang tinggi ini, contohnya lah seseorang itu mungkin rasa pitam ataupun mungkin rasa macam nak pingsan, kelesuan, keletihan ya, ataupun suhu badan yang tinggi dan sebagainya, maka silalah berjumpa doktor.
She said this to the reporters after launching the Agenda National Malaysia Sihat Sitcom in Putrajaya on Wednesday. Dr. Zaliha also said that her ministry will work with the Education Ministry to safeguard children at schools. Malaysians can renew their driving license for up to a maximum of 10 years compared to the current 5-year limit. Transport Minister Anthony Loke said that the move to extend the maximum renewal period of driving licenses will come into effect from May the 8th onwards.
Inisiatif ini hanyalah untuk warga negara Malaysia sahaja dan tidak terpakai kepada warga negara asing atau mana-mana pemegang pas permit jangka masa panjang ataupun kad MyCas yang terikat dengan tempoh laku pasport individu terbabit.
Loke at a media conference in Putrajaya on Wednesday said those who renewed their driving license for a maximum period of 10 years would be charged a special rate of 270 ringgit, which is a discount of 30 ringgit, as the fee is 30 ringgit for each year. He added Malaysians whose licenses had expired and had gone beyond the valid time period for renewal from January the 1st, 2018 and onwards would be given special permission to renew their license without having to resit their driving test. However, those with driving licenses that had expired for more than 3 years would have to retake their driving test. The minister also noted that this special permission is only valid until December 31st, 2023, and that the existing rules will be enforced again on January the 1st, 2024. He said the two initiatives can only be enjoyed by those who are free from any Road Transport Department RTD transaction restrictions and are not blacklisted by the police, as well as free from any suspension due to a sentence or a court order. The 71 conditions which came with the Environmental Impact Assessment EIA approval for the controversial Pulau Pinang South Island's PSI project will be made public on Friday. Chief Minister Chow Kon Yeow said details on the matter will be put up on the Pulau Pinang Infrastructure Corporation website for people to see. On the proposed development on Island A of the PSI, which is the biggest of the 3 proposed islands under the mega reclamation project, Chow said that the island will be named Silicon Island and will function as an extension to the Bayan Lepas Free Industrial Zone. 700 out of 2,300 acres on the island will be used to set up a high-tech industrial park called Green Tech Park. Last Friday, Chow announced that the state had finally obtained the EIA approval for the PSI reclamation project, which came with 71 conditions to be fulfilled. When we come back, teenager opens fire at Serbian school. Stay with us. United States and Europe arrested nearly 300 people, confiscated over $53 billion and seized a dark web marketplace as part of an international crackdown on drug trafficking that officials say was the largest operation of its kind. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland said the number of arrests and money seized was the highest for any international Justice Department-led drug trafficking operation. According to the European Union Law Enforcement Agency, Europol, that coordinated the worldwide operation, the largest number of arrests, 153, were made in the US, followed by the United Kingdom with 55 and Germany with 52. It seized 50.8 million euros in cash and virtual currencies, 850 kilograms of drugs, and 117 firearms were seized in a series of raids in several countries. The operation targeting the monopoly market is the latest major takedown of sales platforms for drugs and other illicit goods on the so-called dark web, a part of an internet hosted within an encrypted network and accessible only through specialized anonymity-providing tools. British Security Minister Tom Tugendhat on Wednesday stressed that security forces are prepared for King Charles III's coronation hours after a man was arrested outside Buckingham Palace for throwing shotgun cartridges. He also expressed his satisfaction towards the officials' prompt and professional response to the incident. London's Metropolitan Police in a statement meanwhile said that the man has been arrested on suspicion of possession of an offensive weapon after he was searched and a knife was found. The incident outside the palace on Tuesday happened days before Saturday's crowning, which is expected to attract large crowds to London, in addition to heads of states from around the world who are invited to the formal ceremony. Over in Serbia, a 14-year-old boy shot his teacher in a Belgrade classroom on Wednesday morning before opening fire on other students and security guards, killing 8 pupils and a security guard. In a statement, the country's Interior Ministry said another 6 pupils and a teacher were injured in the attack and have been taken to hospital. Officials said police in central Belgrade received a call about the shooting at the Vladislav Ribnica school at about 8:40 a.m. It added that a 7th grade student had been arrested in the schoolyard in connection with Wednesday morning's attack, in which the suspect is alleged to have used his father's gun. In the meantime, an investigation into the motive behind the incident is underway.
Custody. I've just left Montgomery County.
The Malaysia Under-22 team are off to a good start after trashing Laos 5-1 in their opening Group B match in Phnom Penh on Wednesday night. Harimau Muda drew first blood through Ubaidullah Shamsul Fazili as early as the 4th minute, but Ubaidullah then had the misfortune of scoring an own goal in the 21st minute. The young Tigers fought back 7 minutes later when Anantanza Sikpokpan scored an own goal before Shahir Basha made it 3-1 in the 74th minute. The boys continued at their fine form when another substitute, Najmuddin Akmal Kamal Akmal, scored the 4th in the 92nd minute with Sunizay Pantaze's own goal in the 94th minute, completing the route for the E. Lavarasan squad. Harimau Muda will next take on Thailand at the Visakha Stadium on May the 6th. Turning to international football, the German Cup. Dani Olmo steered a defending champion Leipzig back to the final on Tuesday in a 5-1 semi-final win over Freiburg in a repeat of last year's decider. Olmo opened the scoring after 13 minutes as he headed home a cross from the left side, before Benjamin Henrich doubled the advantage a minute later to put the visitors in the driving seat. Dominik Szoboszlai struck Leipzig's third 7 minutes after the half-hour mark, following a sleek 1-2 move with Olmo, with Christopher Nkunku adding their 4th just before halftime. Olmo again the provider. Freiburg pulled one back in the 75th minute to make it 4-1, just for Szoboszlai to put the result beyond doubt in the dying minutes from the spot, sealing a 5-1 victory for the visiting side. Leipzig will wait for the winners of the second semi-final between Stuttgart and Frankfurt. Robbers escape with jewellery worth more than 1 billion ringgit. The details when we come back. The Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court on Wednesday ordered Rumah Bonda founder Siti Bainun Ahad Razali to be sent to the Kajang prison to serve a 12-year prison sentence after she was found guilty of neglecting and abusing a teenage girl with a Down syndrome known as Bella. Judge Ezra Lizam Sanusi ordered for the accused to be sent to prison immediately after the court dismissed her application for a stay of execution. Earlier, the judge gave Siti Bainun 10 years jail time for the offence of neglecting the girl and another 12 years in prison for the second charge of abusing the 13-year-old girl. However, The court ordered the accused to serve the sentences concurrently from Wednesday, meaning she will be serving only 12 years behind bars. The court also ordered the woman to sign a 5-year good behaviour bond with a local as a guarantor and a surety of 5,000 ringgit, as well as to carry out 200 hours of community service to be completed within 6 months after serving her time in jail. Judge Israel Lizam in his judgment said the suffering borne by Bella was not only within herself but was also apparent on her physical, and therefore the doer of these scars should be punished accordingly. He further said the victim was not only neglected by the accused to the point of serious injuries, but it was also proven that Siti Bainun was involved in abusing her. According to the charges, Siti Bainun committed the offences in a condominium unit in Wangsa Maju between February and June 2021. The charges framed under the Child Act provides imprisonment of up to 20 years or a fine of 50,000 ringgit or both upon conviction. Meanwhile, in Johor, a married couple pleaded guilty at the Johor Bahru Sessions Court on Wednesday to abusing a 4-year-old boy who died last week after sustaining injuries. The boy's stepfather, S. Nagendran, and his biological mother, A. Sangeeta, both aged 23, made the plea after the charge was read out to them before Judge Dato' Ahmad Kamal Arifin Ismail, who fixed June 7th for the next case mentioned. The couple were charged with the common intention of abusing a child under their care in a manner likely to cause him physical injury. The offence was allegedly committed at their house at Skudai Villa Apartments, Jalan Aman, Taman Skudai Baru on April 28th. The charge under the Children's Act provides imprisonment for up to 20 years or a fine of 50,000 ringgit or both upon conviction. The court allowed the couple a bail of 8,000 ringgit each with one surety and ordered them to report to the Mutiara Rini police station once a month, as well as to surrender their passports to the court. 2 employees of a goldsmith shop in Kuala Pilah, Negeri Sembilan were ambushed by 2 robbers, who then escaped with 2 bags containing 7 kilograms of jewellery, estimated to be worth 1.8 million ringgit. The brazen robbery happened at around 11:30 a.m. on Wednesday behind the goldsmith shop on Jalan Undami Johor in Kuala Pilah. CCTV footage of the incident showed the 2 employees alighting from a car parked near the premises while carrying the bags containing the valuables. A silver car suddenly stopped in front of them, and 2 masked men armed with machetes immediately got out and attacked the workers, who then dropped the bags to avoid harm. The suspects quickly grabbed the bags and fled in their car, while a white car believed to be their accomplice followed from behind. State Police Chief Dato' Ahmad Zafir Muhammad Yusof confirmed the incident and said that an investigation is ongoing under the Penal Code. Authorities are currently tracking down all the suspects. In Johor, police seized drugs worth over 195,000 ringgit in a raid at a guarded terrace house in Taman Delima 3 in Kluang last Sunday. District Police Chief ACP Baharin Muhammad Noor said 3 locals and a Vietnamese woman were also arrested during the 1 p.m. operation. The suspects comprise a 29-year-old man who works as an air conditioning installer with 6 previous criminal records, a 26-year-old unemployed Malay woman with 5 previous criminal records, and a 34-year-old man who works as a farmer with 3 previous criminal records, while the foreign woman who entered the country using a social visit pass has no previous criminal records. During a search at the residence, police found over 3.5 kilograms of shabu and 534 grams of marijuana. Police also seized 2 cars and over 158,000 ringgit in cash, bringing the total seizure value to over 417,000 ringgit. The case is being investigated under the Dangerous Drugs Act, which carries the death penalty or life imprisonment and not less than 15 strokes of the cane if found guilty. As Nightline draws to a close this time around, let's take a look as dedicated royal fans camped out near Buckingham Palace ahead of King Charles III's coronation. Despite the chilly overnight temperatures, which dropped to around 4 degrees overnight, the mood was buoyant amongst the waiting royal supporters who were attempting to get the best viewing spots for Saturday's festivities. I'm Adrian Seet. Thank you for watching and stay safe, Malaysia.